everybody. Thank you so much for jumping on. Super excited today to have my very good friends, Geary and Dane Bollwinkel here. These two guys are absolute legends in the real estate space, but about a year and a half ago, maybe couple years, 3 years for Dane, they discovered that there was another way to really develop massive amounts of passive monthly income, which is why we all got into the real estate space. But they figured out a way to do it with crypto, and I'm going to tell you guys, I was the biggest skeptic of anybody. I promise you, every time I get with them, I'm drilling them with every question I can come up with that ChatGPT is giving me and that Google's giving me. But these guys are the real deal. They've really dug deep into crypto, and they're going to break down today how you can earn, monthly passive income. Not only that, but learn how to invest in the market cycle. And right now, they're going to show you that it's the perfect time to be investing in crypto so that you can ride that wave of appreciation as it goes up. And then, finally, just what is good crypto and what is bad crypto and what you should stay away from. So it's going to be a super, jam-packed hour full of information. So, guys, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Thank you so much for popping on today.
Yeah, let's do it, David. We appreciate you having us, man. I'll go ahead and start. So, just like you said, David, I mean, we got, or at least I speak for myself. I got into real estate, and I think most people do for the hope that you could build something that one day you could sit on a beach or in a golf course or doing things with your family while the checks just rolled in. And while some are able to accomplish that, most in real estate are not because you've got to get really good skill, which means a lot of deals, which means a lot of money. It's just it's a difficult thing to accomplish. And and so a few years ago, I was dipping my toes in trying to figure out what my next business move was going to be. I wasn't satisfied with the passive income from my real estate portfolio. I was tired of the brain damage from running my real estate team, and I was trying to figure out what my next move was. Well, I've been in crypto since 2017 and more as a hobby, until a few years ago. And I said, you know what? I wonder what would happen if I started taking this crypto thing really seriously. And let's just see. So I found a cryptocurrency platform. In fact, some of these screenshots here from one I'll talk about later, but I found a separate crypto platform where I put in $5,000 just to start to test the waters to see how things would go. Started
Uh-huh.
going so well that I decided, what would I need to do? How much money would I need to sink in here to make 20 grand a month? I wanted to make 20 grand a month. I felt like that was a pretty achievable goal. I did the math, and it said I needed 100 grand. If I put in a total of 100, I should make 20 a month, which is crazy to say out loud, but those were the numbers at the time. And that was before any appreciation. Price went and then more than doubled. So I put in the 100. And at one point I was making $50,000 a month on 100 grand, which was crazy. It blew my mind. And it was way easier than real estate. I didn't have to deal with any tenants, toilets, or trash. And I was in. I was hooked at that point. And so we're going to talk about some of the ways that other people could utilize today, ways they can make passive income and really utilize this opportunity in crypto that only comes around once every 4 years. Now is the time. Now is that once in 4 year time from how they could use this to do more deals, to be able to build businesses, to be able to have better cash flow, to really change their lives. So that was my story. We'll go ahead and jump to Corey.
Yeah, so I mean, my story is pretty similar, and as I got into real estate about 8-9 years ago. It's how I met you, David. Is through real estate. Real estate's been an absolute blessing in my life, and I tell everyone that real estate saved my life. Actually, I was going nowhere fast. I was an alcoholic. I was a drug addict. I was single, and I was going to my deathbed fast. That's about it. And, through real estate, by chasing the dollar, I got around like-minded people who were leveling up spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. And now I've been sober for multiple years. I live in Puerto Rico and I have a family. And I owe that to real estate. I really do, and changing my life. But it was just a stepping tool for me, where in 2022, man, I had built this company. And David, you knew me at this time, where I was doing anywhere from 30 to 60 deals at any given time. Half the time, they were all jammed up. Easy REI was able to help me a lot with the last year of my business, of really kind of getting rid of some of those clogs, but they were still, man, I was in multiple lawsuits. I was working 12, 13, 14 hours a day, hiring and firing all day. And I found that I was miserable. It made me a millionaire, and it did a lot of great things for me, but I was miserable. So in 2022, I went on a spiritual journey and tried to discover what it is I wanted for my next iteration in my life. And it wasn't real estate. I had already been dabbling with cryptocurrency. And kind of like what Dane had talked about, I decided, oh, well, let's take this thing serious. I joined masterminds. I started going to events. I even hired a private coach. I started treating it like an actual asset class. By the end of 2022, I was making so much passive income in my crypto portfolio that it paled in comparison to my real estate company. So I shut my real estate company down. I moved to Puerto Rico, and now I bought my time back. I've got, my freedom with my family to do with what I want, when I want, however I want. It's been an absolute blessing. And I would recommend a book to all your listeners and viewers here is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. That really teaches you how to follow the crumbs that God or the universe leaves before you, to that way you don't have to claw your way to success in life, and you can kind of be guided your way to success in life. And that's what is happening now. And now I don't work a day in my life because of that. So.
Now, we also have the pleasure of working with Robert Allen. If you guys don't know Bob, Bob is one of the real estate OGs. The guy has made his money. He's been doing real estate for decades. And we were really, it was really an eye-opening experience. This was about a year and a half ago. We were speaking at an event in Dallas, and Bob was there, and he came up to us afterwards and he said, you know what, you guys, I missed Bitcoin and I missed Ethereum, but I'm not going to miss crypto anymore because I know this is the future. Everything's going digital. And I like that you guys actually have a system of how we can approach this where it doesn't take a ton of time and we can make passive income while we sleep. And so I said, I want to do this with you guys. And so we have people just like Robert Allen in our mastermind today, where if people like these guys are looking at cryptocurrency, they could sell off into the sunset and do nothing ever again because they've already made their money. They don't need anything else. If people like this are looking at crypto right now, I think it makes sense for all of us to be taking a really close look.
Let's talk about cycles, man. This is probably one of the most important talking points that we're going to discuss in this presentation, period. In the story, this is what the number one rule in cryptocurrency is. Besides security, security is a whole nother topic. We don't have enough time today to get down that rabbit hole. You want to make sure you have your security in order. But man, cycles are up there, because if you don't follow the cycles or respect the cycles, you can lose all your money. You can also make a lot of money if you understand how cycles work. Cryptocurrency works in 4-year cycles, like clockwork. What's really unique about crypto is that you know where you're at in the market cycle down to the month. You don't have that power with real estate or the stock market. In real estate, you know you're around 12 to 16-year cycles. You kind of guess, with interest rates and all this other things that's going on. And even then, it doesn't work out that well. We thought when the COVID crashed, I thought that was going to be the doom and gloom for real estate, and it was the beginning of the bull run. It was insane. But with crypto, you know where you're at any given time in the cycle, and it all revolves around something called the Bitcoin halving. And I won't get too deep in the weeds in that today. And that just means the inflation of Bitcoin gets cut in half. That's it. So you have a supply shock. And what happens is that you have a year to year and a half of parabolic bull run where everything crypto goes up in price. And then at some point, you're going to have a top. Nothing goes up forever. And then you have a year to year and a half bear market where everything goes down, and you lose anywhere from 75% to 99% of your value of your economic energy, your dollar value. You'll lose in that bear market. So you don't want to participate in the bear market. And then it runs sideways for a year to year and a half. We call that the accumulation zone. And then it starts all over again. The Bitcoin halving happens. And then you're off to the races again. And what's really remarkable is that the Bitcoin halving just happened about 2 weeks ago. It just happened. And so we are at the start of the next bull run. If you were to go and, run a race, a marathon, the starting gun has just fired. And it's now time to go and accumulate, all our favorite assets. Nothing we say on here is financial advice. We're not financial advisors. We're not tax attorneys. We're not CPAs. We're none of that. But for our own portfolio and what we're doing and what our community is doing is we're in here accumulating right now because we know down to the cycle what's going to happen next. And in fact, the little sell-off that we're seeing in Bitcoin and Ethereum right now is right on cue for where we're at in the market cycle. I mean, it's like having a crystal ball and seeing into the future. If we could do that with real estate, I mean, David, we'd probably be billionaires by now if we could do that with real estate. I mean, I wish I would have known back in 2009, 10, 11, I could go and accumulate as many houses as humanly possible. I just didn't know. And plus, I wasn't as educated enough back then. But that's where we're at in crypto right now. So cycles are king. By the time you hear about like your barber or your Uber driver making, $50,000 off a dog coin, it's too late. That's a time to go home and sell. It's like the old Warren Buffett saying, you buy when people are fearful and you sell when they're greedy. It's never more true than in cryptocurrency. You have to follow that law, but everyone does it opposite, is when they see people getting wealthy and they're seeing that crypto is the best thing since sliced bread and people are buying Lamborghinis. That's when people want to get involved, but they don't understand they've already missed the boat by that time. And they need to wait another 4 years to get in. So if you're not preparing for this now, this is some of the most biggest important information. If you don't understand this part and you wait 6 months or a year and then you want to get in, don't get in. You need to wait another 4 years for the cycle to repeat. You have to respect the cycle. That is the most important thing we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some fun stuff like passive income, but none of that stuff matters at all if you don't understand this one rule. This is the rule that rules them all in cryptocurrency. People don't understand this, and this is what gets people wrecked or makes people a lot of money. Smart money understands that, including like BlackRock. BlackRock is buying in a tune of billions of dollars right now. So,
yeah, is that making sense, you guys? In fact, if you're picking up what we're putting down, go ahead and just type. In fact, what should we do today? Go ahead and just put like a yes in the chat. If you're watching along. Yeah, we're hoping you're getting the idea here. We couldn't over stress the cycles. Now, not only are the cycles really important, but in addition, we want to make sure we're buying things when they're on a discount. And typically, right, we can look at those cycles and we can say, hey, we're still early in the cycle here. If we pair that with the next question of, hey, what's still on a discount? What's still a really good deal here where we're at today? Then we can absolutely crush it and we can change our lives forever. So if you go and you look at Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin is not a great deal right now. Bitcoin is not that far from its all-time high. I would say it's quite expensive, but there's still things that haven't ran really hard yet, like Bitcoin. It's the same as real estate, right? If you could go back to the crash in 2009, 10, 11 and be buying then, well, real estate was undervalued and you would have crushed it had you been buying then. Compare that to 2022, real estate then, in my opinion, was largely overvalued, and we've seen values pull back in much of the world since that date. Crypto is no different. It's the exact same thing in regards to just want to buy when things are undervalued, sell when they're overvalued. So a few different examples from this last bull run, and these get pretty nuts. Don't let this break your brain because these are real examples. You can go look up the data yourself. So if you would have put just $1,000 into Solana down here when things were undervalued, when they were cheap, this is no trading. This is sitting on your hands and doing nothing else but buying when things are cheap, riding the waves, and then taking profits when things got more expensive. About a year later, you could have turned $1,000 into $500,000 in a year. It's wild. Crypto is the only place where you could do that. Something like Polygon, it was even juicier. If you would have put 1,000 down here when things were cheap and you rode it, once again, this is no trading. This is just sitting on your hands. You could have turned that into over $1 million in about a year. And something like Hex, you could have put $1,000 in and turned that into $10 million in about a year. Once again, this isn't rocket science. You just need to understand how these things work, how the timing works, find some of the stuff that's still heavily discounted, and then make some bets in faith and ride those things for the next year to 18 months or so. These are the opportunities at hand right now. And I'd ask you guys, like, what would you do? In fact, I'll put it in the chat. I'll put my own comment in the chat here. What would you do if you hit one of these runners? Like, what would you do if you turned $1,000 into $500,000? What would you go do? I'll put it here. I'd say I'd take a year and travel with my family. Put it in the chat. What would you guys do? I mean, you could do some insane things with catching some of these huge runs, and this is the opportunity that's at hand right now. Can you see yourself getting some of that? Because if you can, it's juicy and you can change your life forever.
In fact, Dylan here, this is an interesting story because Dylan, he's in our mastermind. He caught the hex wave. He's in his mid-20s. He got into hex the last market cycle. He only put 3K in. Now, he didn't catch the perfect bottom or sell the perfect top, but he didn't need to. He caught the meat in the middle. His 3K turned into 900K. He rolled that into a brand new layer 1 blockchain called Pulse Chain, which he's now, this has turned into multiple millions of dollars. The guy's in his mid-20s, never had a real job in his life, and he's a higher net worth than me. It is wild, the stories that you're going to hear in cryptocurrency. You can see that anybody could do it. Can you see yourself doing it? Are you guys following me so far? Give me a yes in the chat, please. Again, I know we're going to ask for a lot of participation. We need a lot of participation from you guys because it's how you guys are going to absorb this information. So, yeah, Dylan's an awesome individual who has absolutely changed his life in a very early stage of his life. And he knows blockchain now like the back of his hand. We learn from Dylan sometimes on certain things. It's great. So,
yep. And you guys are our people. I love these comments in the chat. You guys would buy more real estate and travel, buy more real estate. I like that. This is a cool one. I'd give it to some orphan ministries. Very cool.
I love that.
There's so many things that you can do. And I think a lot of people, they think about, when you hit it big, I think most people have dreams of fancy things they might buy, but man, like maybe you're somebody that wants to do good in the world for your church or for some ministry or some philanthropic thing or charity. The opportunities are so big here if you just learn these new systems and you apply yourself, and there's a very small window to be able to capture this. Now, we showed some examples of what you could do in a little bit longer time frame of about a year in crypto. Man, but some of the short-term stuff can get pretty bonkers as well. This is our buddy Eric. Eric joined our community about a month ago. Eric had been in there for about 3 weeks. There was a new cryptocurrency that one of our members had found, and he announced it in our group. Eric went ahead and participated. He was really early. His timing was good, right? He got in early when things were still really undervalued. Eric's $3,000 turned into $350,000 in value in 5 days. 5 freaking days, over 100x on his money. And this doesn't, full disclosure, this doesn't happen all the time, right? This is a home run example. But if you get enough at-bats, well, guess what? You're going to hit a home run sometimes, just like with real estate. If you do enough deals, those of you that are on this call, you probably have had experiences just like me or Corey or David, where you get some of those sweetheart deals sometimes that you just crushed it. In that one deal, you made more money in that one deal than maybe you did that whole quarter or something like that, just because you were taking enough at-bats. You take enough at-bats, well, you're going to hit some homers.
Yep. Cool. You guys following us so far? Are you understanding or at least seeing the power that cryptocurrency has? It is the highest appreciating asset class known to mankind. So guys, our strategy is simple. We're just going to buy when we're in the accumulation zone. Remember, market cycles are king. We talked about that a little bit earlier. We're going to accumulate right now. We're still in the accumulation zone of the market cycle. We're going to cash flow on our portfolio. This is the exact same strategy that we do in real estate. A lot of you guys are in real estate, so you'll resonate with this. You just buy, you cash flow, and when the only difference is here is when the market cycle tells us it's time, then we'll sell. We'll sell, and that sometime it'll be anywhere from 2025, maybe as late as 2026, depending on where the cycle is telling us to go ahead and exit our portfolio. It's one of the sayings that we have in our community, and you guys will really resonate with this, is that we want to use cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool and use real estate as a wealth preservation tool. And even though it's not on this slide, when we go to sell in 2025, what are we going to do with that money? We're not going to go and put it in the bank. The bank is where, we're losing value on our dollar via inflation. They're stealing our money so they can hand it out to all their friends. So we're going to go back into real estate. We're going to go back into business opportunities. We might probably go back into some oil and gas. We have all these guys in our community right now who have deals, so we can go back in their deals and be the money in their deals, and we can preserve that wealth that we just created with cryptocurrency. Can you guys see what I'm talking about here? Is this making sense to you? Are you following me? Give me a yes in the chat. If this is seems simple and you can see yourself doing this strategy, it's a very easy strategy. We're not traders. You can see we're not traders. We're just buy and hold investors, and we're applying the same ideologies that you guys have in real estate, because we're real estate guys too. I was in real estate for almost a decade. We're applying that ideology into cryptocurrency, and we're going to grow our wealth through this asset class. So let's show you, though, the most important, not the most important, the most fun. Most important was market cycles. Remember that. The most fun part is the cash flow. Most of you guys are like, how do I make passive income? I don't understand what you mean by passive income in crypto. It's wild that you can do this. Most people, and I'll let Dane kind of take some of this, but most people go to Coinbase, they buy Ethereum, and they hope the number goes up. Well, I ask you, kind sir, what would you ever buy a rental property and not put a tenant in place? David, would you ever buy a rental property and not put a tenant in place, or would you let that thing just sit?
No, absolutely. All of them are little soldiers. They need to be out there producing cash flow every single month.
Working for you, making some money, but people treat their crypto like this. They go buy it and they don't understand the use case or the utility behind it. They could take that Ethereum, take it off of Coinbase, put it on the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum is a mining token and also a gas token. So they can use the Ethereum to mine the Ethereum blockchain, AKA earn more Ethereum and passive income. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on that, what that is, but you put your Ethereum to work for you the same way you put your real estate to work for you while you're holding it. I mean, you're going to hold it anyways. Hopefully in the real estate world, you get some price appreciation, but why not get some cash flow in your price appreciation? And that's why I really try to stress to investors and real estate entrepreneurs. They understand this. The light bulb goes on. They're like, oh, well, I thought Coinbase was what I did. I went and bought crypto there. Now that's not crypto. Coinbase is just a centralized exchange. Real crypto is decentralization, DeFi, and that's what we do. And so I'll kind of let Dane talk a little about, these strategies here. But yeah, that's the overall high level idea of passive income in crypto. Is this making sense to you guys? You guys follow me?
In fact, I'm curious if you guys have, if you're a landlord, you've got properties, you've got rentals, go ahead and type landlord in the chat. Let's see if we've got any of you. I know we've got some real estate people. Any of you guys building portfolios? That'll be interesting to see.
David,
yeah. Oh, and this is a good question. How fast will we get the replay on this? Are we recording this one, David? Are they going to get the replay?
Cool.
Okay, we are. Cool.
Yeah,
That's great. Yep, landlord, note holder, landlord, so many properties, LOL. Right, cool. So we've owned rental properties as well. And in fact, I was on the news because they did a DEA drug bust at one of my properties. My tenant was selling meth out of the one side. They're like freaking roaches in there. I went to replace the hot water heater. I sent my father-in-law, who's a plumber, over there to replace the hot water heater. And he said, Dane, in this little 400 square foot unit, I think there's 20 people in here. And I said, I know what's going on over there. Just replace the hot water heater and we'll keep it moving until the rent stops. And he calls me back about 30 minutes later and says, hey, Dane, the police just showed up and they kicked everybody out. You might want to come over here. I show up and there's a news crew over there with 15 people, all with their hands behind their back, everybody handcuffed sitting on the curb. And little did I know, I bought this property. These guys had this sting ongoing for a year and a half waiting to bust these guys. And there I am on the news being interviewed about my property in this drug bust with the door slammed open. And now I've got to clean it. I've got to do meth remediation. Like, that was a lot of freaking work, right? But with cryptocurrency, specifically with staking here in this example, we could put our money, like David said, our little soldiers to work, our dollars to work. And those dollars can be working every single day, every single minute of the day, 24/7, without any tenants, toilets, or trash. And once again, there's a very small period of time where you can really reap these rewards. So we use a few different mechanisms. Staking is one of them, where you guys might own, maybe some of you own like Coca-Cola stock, for instance. And just from owning that stock, they give you a little bit of the revenue that the company produces each quarter as an incentive to continue to hold it. But the little bit that you give, it's just a small dribble. You get paid hardly anything, and you need a very substantial amount of money in there for that cash flow to start to get exciting. Well, with cryptocurrency, you can do a lot with a little. In fact, you can see here with these crypto dividends, just very similar to a stock dividend. Stock dividend, you own the stock and you get a little bit of the revenue from that company. With cryptocurrency, we can own a cryptocurrency, and if you're in the right places, we can get a little bit, not a little bit, we can get a lot of rewards from owning a portion of that revenue of that crypto business. And so this is an example here where each one of these, Corey went ahead and created some stakes here. You can see each one of these comes out each month. These were $500 in Ethereum stakes, and these $500 turned into 11,000 bucks. And this is over a period of about 30 days. They come out every single month. Now, the value of these can vary a little bit because we're in crypto, right? Things can go up and down. That's fine. But a little bit of money can go such a long way if you're just positioned appropriately. Once again, this isn't rocket science. It's just a matter of understanding these systems and how to use them. And then once you set this stuff up, you can largely forget it. It doesn't take hardly any of your time. Can you guys see yourself? Like, am I making sense here? You guys following? Go ahead and we'll get some more yeses in the chat. Make sure I'm explaining this simply enough.
So yeah, it's interesting, Dane, that it's just like real world company or business, utilization on the blockchain. That's what crypto dividends is. That's why I really like it, because like when a company makes money, you get a portion of that money. I love that. And crypto dividends, since like these protocols are earning fees, and anytime somebody uses it, there's no management team that needs paid, no CEO. There's no overhead. So all those fees get paid out to the stakers of those coins. Another great way to make passive income is what we call liquidity providing, or LP. This is where you're the Coinbase or the Robinhood. So what's Coinbase's business model? It's just they offer up assets for you to buy or sell, trade back and forth, and they earn all the fees in between those buy and sells. Well, on DeFi or on the blockchain, we don't use Coinbase. So where do we buy our assets? We buy them peer to peer. So if I own, for example, Hex and Ethereum and put them into a liquidity pool on Ethereum, well, when the marketplace trades in and out of those from Uniswap, that's called a decentralized exchange. When they trade in and out of those, I earn all the fees. I become the Coinbase. I become the Robinhood now. I am the liquidity provider. In fact, Binance makes $24 billion a year from that business model with a B. CZ, that's the owner of Binance. He just got hit with a traffic ticket, basically. He had to pay $4 billion to the U.S. government for all kinds of money laundering and fraud and all. And he's like, whatever, $4 billion, I make $24 billion a year. I mean, it's a very lucrative business model. And what real crypto does is it gets power back to the people, where only big centralized entities could afford. Now we can have these opportunities in decentralized finance, in real crypto on the blockchain. We can go and earn all these fees. And it's passively. The computer and the code does all the work. Literally, you're making all this money while you sleep. This is Dane's wallet here. This was wild. When Pulse Chain first launched, it was a brand new layer 1 blockchain that we love. They decentralized exchange on Pulse Chains where all the assets were being bought and sold from. And since there was a lot of revenue going through it when it first launched, Dane threw $100 grand in, and he was making this a day. a day. It was wild. I think he was out here in Puerto Rico at that time. He paid for his Puerto Rico trip and then some. It was crazy. So I mean, you can see that, the power in this. It's literally giving the power that Coinbase has or Robinhood to you. It gives the power to you. Can you see how this is powerful? Give me a yes if you can see how powerful this is in the chat. Like I said, we love a lot of participation. Yeah, it's incredible, man. It's incredible. So,
And like Corey said, this was really easy. I set this up in about 10 minutes and I let it ride for 30 days. I came back on 100 grand. I made about 20 grand in passive income. No tenants, toilets, or trash. I set it up once and let it ride. Anybody can do this. It's just a matter of knowing how. Now, the other way, you guys have probably heard of Bitcoin mining before. Note to you guys, everything associated with Bitcoin is overpriced right now. You're just not going to make very good returns there compared to other cryptocurrencies because everybody knows about Bitcoin, right? It's kind of like buying Microsoft or Apple stock at this point. Everybody already knows about it, and so you're not getting a great deal there. However, if we come and mine some of the new stuff, if we utilize some of these newer platforms, that's where the opportunity is. It's about being early and having good timing. So back to my story where I shared at the beginning of this presentation where I was making 50 grand a month. This is that. These are screenshots of that where I came in. I started with 5 grand. I ended up upping that to $100,000. And these are my mining rewards. I mean, in a couple of days, I made 4,400 bucks. 24 hours, I made 804 bucks on this one. The money just rolls in if you know how to use these things and set it up properly. In fact, on this one, I believe I put in, like I said, I put in 100 grand. I extracted another 400, 3 or 400 out over the next 8 months. And this is all passive. I set it up once and it just throws off cash. And I go in there and I take money out of my ATM whenever I want. And I do whatever I want with it. And that's the power of cryptocurrency. That's the opportunity that we have right now. And back to some of the things you guys point out, going on a trip with your family, maybe you want to buy some fancy things. Maybe you want to do some cool things with a ministry or with a charity or your church or your community. You could do a lot more with more money. You can buy a lot more real estate with more money. It gets so much easier with some more cash. And that's the opportunity. If you can leverage crypto right now to get more cash to do some of those things that you guys have in mind, you could change your life in an absolutely enormous way, just like Corey and I have.
Here's some of our community members that has, it did just that. It's changed their life. And most of these guys in our community are real estate investors. That's what we specialize in. We're real estate guys. Like I said, part of the whole vision is cryptocurrency, wealth creation, real estate is wealth preservation. We got Bobby up there. She's making about 5K a month. We got her up to speed in about 30 days. Albert, he's a real estate investor out in Arizona. Got him to 17K within a couple months. We got Chip down there making 12 grand a month after about 60 days. And even Shanti, her main goal was she just wanted a truck payment. She's like, I want my truck payment. Can you do that for me? I was like, yeah, let's work it backwards from your goals. And in about 3 weeks, we had enough passive income for her where it superseded what her truck payment was, where she's making $875 a month. I mean, now she's making a couple grand a month. It all depends on your goals, how much liquidity you have to start with. Obviously, real estate's a great asset class in the regard that you can actually do real estate with no money down, and you can do it by hustling and bustling in the beginning. Crypto, you do need some money. You do just need some liquidity to get started. You can't do crypto for free. It's an asset class that requires money. And real estate does too after a period of time. You really want to turn on the gas in real estate. It takes that. So yeah, but you have something for everybody here, depending on your liquidity and your goals.
Yep, absolutely. So this is probably a good place where we go ahead and do a little Q&A. We could talk through any questions that you guys might have. Like I said, Corey and I have been doing this for a number of years now, and we'd be more than happy to break down any concepts. If there was anything here that didn't quite make sense, we could simplify it, or we could answer some of the questions. I know David had a few questions that he'd proposed at the beginning. We get to some of that. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section. We'll go ahead and answer some of those. This is a good one from David. Yeah, how much would you need to get started investing? So that's a great question. and it varies for everybody. So we like to say that, you know, you want to have enough in the market that it gets you excited to be able to track it and follow it. But you don't want so much in there that you can't sleep at night. If you have too much in there, well, I can tell you from personal experience, it makes it hard to sleep at night. And you know that you're over invested. And so it's a balancing act. Corey makes a great point. He says, you know, this is money that you want to sink in there that you could leave alone for 12 to 18 months, that you don't need tomorrow to pay your bills. This is money that you could leave alone. You also could afford to lose, you know, if things went badly. But also, you know, to the upside, what happens if you hit one of these big runs like Eric, who had only been in our community for 3 weeks, I think, when he turned 3 grand into 350K. It doesn't take a lot to be able to really move the needle with crypto. So, you know, we've got people in our community that started with $1,000. We've got other people that have 7 figures in the market and everywhere in between. So it's really a matter of kind of your comfort level there. That's a great question.
A great question. I'll answer the next one. How complicated is it? You know, ideally, it's as complicated as you want it to be. We got guys who come in our community and they maybe spend 1 hour a month. And, you know, we hold them by the hand. So basically, they don't have to do all the due diligence. They don't have to understand this stuff, you know, what's going under the hood like me and Dane do, because they don't have time to. They're running real estate companies. They're running other businesses. And so they come in and we hold them by the hand, and that way they can basically be pretty hands off with their investment strategy. And maybe they put a month in a month, maybe 2 months, or you can go as deep as you want. And if you want to know how to learn how to do all the due diligence and how to get integrated with the dev teams and the founders and the communities. I mean, that's one reason why I moved to Puerto Rico, is because I want to be more integrated inside the cryptocurrency communities. And anybody in crypto lives in Puerto Rico. And I learned that. And so I moved out here for that. I want to be next to where the money's at. You, just like in real estate, you want to be around guys who are doing bigger and better deals than you. I want to be around guys who have bigger portfolios than me in crypto. And so, yeah, so it's entirely up to you. If you come with us along for this ride during this bull run, you know, we can do all the heavy lifting for you, and we can bring it back to you on a silver platter, so you can go out and crush the world that, you know, that you're already crushing in. I mean, you guys are entrepreneurs. Continue being entrepreneurs. Let us do what we're good at, so you can do what you're good at. Does that make sense? Are you guys following me?
Yeah, those are some great questions. I'm going to go ahead while we're in between questions. I'm just going to drop a link in the chat. This is a link to have a call with Corey or I. So if you guys like what you're hearing, if you see yourself in some of this, if you see yourself being able to change your life in a big way, and you want to figure out how some of this crypto stuff works, you can come and book a call with Corey or I. We'd love to jump on a call with you. 30-minute call, 30, 45 minutes, walk you through some of this. We even talk about your own individual circumstances to show how we may be able to plug in and help you with what you've got going on and really, you know, really change your life forever. Once again, you know, did you see yourself in Eric, where he turned 3 grand into 350K in 5 days? Did you see yourself in Dylan, where Dylan turned 3 grand into 900K over a period of year? Like, these aren't necessarily uncommon circumstances over a period of 12 to 18 months. If you're just in the game and you're positioning yourself now, like Corey said earlier, if you wait, you know, if you wait another 6 months, well, just set the calendar for 4 years, because you missed out. You know, you need to get in when things are still cheap like they are right now, and we can walk you through all that type of stuff. In fact, if you book a call, we'll go ahead and share with you the one cryptocurrency that we feel like everybody should be looking at, should be paying incredibly close attention to, that has all the right things going on about it right now, but is still hugely undervalued and most people aren't talking about it. We want to get into those types of things. So we'll share that one cryptocurrency with you if you book a call, and how you could leverage that opportunity to once again change your life forever this year.
I mean, yeah, if all crypto did for you was add a little bit more passive income so you could take that extra vacation every single year, would it be worth it? You know, these are the questions you got to ask yourself. If all crypto was able to do for you is able to give you the capital in a year to buy more real estate, maybe it's you want to 10x your real estate goals, and you can do that with very little liquidity by investing now, would it be worth the investment? And if, I mean, in my situation, I mean, if all crypto did for you is completely free you from the daily hustle and bustle and grinding of business, That's what it did for me. Would it be worth the investment? And these are the questions you got to ask yourself. You know, there's a reason why you guys are here. You know, there's a why you're here. Ask yourself, why are you here? Is this something that you are interested in? Having a little bit of exposure in this asset class can go a long way. I have a saying that you don't have to bet the farm to buy the farm in crypto. 1% of your portfolio if you feel a little uncomfortable about this asset class, but get on the bus, get on the train, get on the airplane, get on this ride with even a little bit of money. You guys are out there crushing the world. Why not stick a little bit in and see what it does for you? You know, if you only put 1% and if you were to lose that, it wouldn't hurt you, right? And these are the questions you got to ask yourself. You know, are you worth the investment?
Yeah.
Give me a yes if you are in the chat.
I think what you're saying is absolutely right. I mean, clearly, skeptical or not, there is a big future in, crypto and blockchain and AI and all of these things that are happening. And, I can't remember that principle, but we're like technology like doubles every 4 years or something, right? Like it's rapidly advancing so quickly. And, I am just not going to look back 15 years from now and go, geez, couldn't invest $1,000 in this. My God. Like, like literally you saw what $1,000 could turn into. Could you lose it? Of course you could. You could lose it in the stock market too, right?
You lose it in real estate. I've done it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've done it, man.
Yeah. So I mean, but my gosh, the risk is so small compared to the upside, right? Like
the upside reward.
And that's why, I love it and certainly trust you guys because I know you spend all day, every day, learning about this. So I would highly encourage you, we'll post this link, in a replay. And then, for those people in the other platforms, we'll make sure everybody has the calendar link. But man, I would just encourage you to jump on a call with these guys.
Yeah, book a call if you guys feel like you want to come on this journey with us and you don't want to do all the heavy lifting, man. Our community is great. We got 190 members in there. And we have a lot of heavy hitters in there. Robert Allen's in there. Nick Perry's in there. David's going to be coming in there. I mean, it's an amazing community. Like I said, once again, where the overall ethos is where we're going to use cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool and use real estate as a wealth preservation tool.
Cool. In fact, Ronnie asked a really good question. She says, how easy or early can you pull out money from the cash flow to invest or contribute to the other things? So, I mean, you could do it every minute of every day if you wanted to, Ronnie. It's up to you. Now we're compounding our gains right now because you saw some of the numbers, right? Imagine imagine getting $1,000 in passive income and pulling that out to go and buy something, whatever it may be. And rather, that $1,000 could have been invested and turned into, even 1,000 into 10,000. Like that happens all the time in crypto. How would you feel if you were extracting money out instead of compounding it when our timing's still so good right now? If you're like me and Corey, well, you'll feel like you got kicked in the stomach if you miss that opportunity. So we're using our passive income to continue to grow our portfolios. But you could pull it out, yeah, I mean, every single day if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you have a bill that came up and you're like, I could use a little extra little money. I mean, there's nothing wrong with pulling that out. It's your money. It's your money and it's your portfolio. And that's what's great about crypto is that you're your own bank, you're your own custodian, and you can do whatever you want with it. But ideally, we want to make this thing grow. That's the idea over the next year to year and a half. There's no other opportunity quite like crypto right now. Make no mistake, market cycles are king. You've seen this. And can you see yourself doing this? Are you worth the investment? Even a little bit.
Yeah,
that's the question you ask yourself.
Guys, I'm telling you, I got some money in there and there's nobody more skeptical of crypto than me. I promise you. I love dreaming up new ways to fuck with these guys and try to trip them up.
It's fun.
I've yet to do it. So, I mean, just so you understand, you'll kick yourself if you don't get some money in this. So.
Yep.
Well, cool, guys. I really appreciate it, man. That was awesome. That was really good.
Fun. We appreciate you always, David.
All right. Well, guys, we're gonna if some people happen to miss this, we'll shoot this out as a replay. But make sure you book a call and let's get in the game.
All right, guys. You guys have a good one.